Last time, we saw the birth of the first Super Saiyan, but it wasn't Goku. Although, Goku was able to unlock it immediately after, pretty much. With Goku also now training with his Supreme Kai, what's going to happen from here on out? We'll be seeing all that and more in this part 5 of What If Goku Became Kami. We entered the time skip after the Android saga. Goku of course is with the Supreme Kai. He does worry a bit about Earth though, especially because Vegeta's still there. It does seem like he's calmed down a bit, but judging by how he acted against the androids, he's not too sure. He seemed very full of himself and he did kill one of the androids, same for Piccolo. And with Piccolo doing it, it's one thing, but with Vegeta, it seemed like he's still somewhat of his old self. He clearly went in that battle looking for blood. Although, Vegeta's not the strongest there on Earth, Piccolo is. At least when Goku's not there. So it should be fine, although he does kinda wonder what would happen if he let the androids live. He gave Vegeta a second chance after all, but he never really got a chance to look into their minds. And with him thinking about this for the androids, at some point Goku actually asked Shenron for a favor, surprisingly reviving the androids without anyone's knowledge. As Guardian of Earth, he's working to protect all Earthlings, and the androids are Earthlings. He never gave them a second chance. When he let his friends fight, he didn't know they would just go for the kill right away. And that's fine and all, especially with the situation they were in, but the androids never really got to do too much. Of course, this is done in tandem with Goku restoring all the damage that they did. Asking for a few simple wishes: restore all the damage caused by the androids, revive anyone killed during that time period, and he asked Shenron if he could remove all that evil programming within them. But as Guardian, he could see that they're not all bad. They obviously didn't become androids willingly either, and he feels content about this. Hopefully there's no other androids out there though, because they're probably hardwired to kill him and everyone else. And before you ask, no, he's not doing this with Raditz and Nappa. He made the decision to kill them, and they chose to be that way. With the androids, they didn't choose that lifestyle, and they didn't get a second chance. Also, it's been too long, and there's no point to bring them back in this scenario either. Back on Earth, Chi-Chi feels kinda bad that Gohan's been stuck up here basically his whole life. Yeah, they do go down to the surface a lot and meet people down there, but while they're content up here, Gohan does need to be sent to school down on the surface to socialize like a normal person. He is growing smart up here. Popo's a great tutor, and when Kami was around he was really smart too. So obviously Gohan had a good amount of schooling, but he needs to go to an actual school now. So he's sent to school down on the surface. Thankfully with her and Goku being Guardian, they can teleport around places on Earth. So while he could ride Nimbus to school, she simply just teleports him outside of the city limits and then he runs in there. Although it's kinda weird because when people ask where he lives, he kinda has to skirt around the answer. He does excel well at school too, and he's pretty well liked there. It's strange, it's almost like he has an aura about him that makes people like him. Also, weirdly enough, they don't realize they're around the son of Kami, which is kinda biblical when you think about it. That's an interesting way to look at it. But Gohan wants to try and live a normal human life. He's not gonna end up being Kami. Of course his parents are guardians of Earth basically, but Gohan actually just wants to live a normal life down there. As normal as someone related to God can be. The same goes for Goten too, but he's still being raised up there on the lookout. And Gohan spends a lot more time on the surface trying to blend in with the humans. It's not really too hard though. Speaking of blending in with the humans, Vegeta's kinda doing the same thing too. He's still around obviously. Of course his case is different from Gohan's. Vegeta's an evil Saiyan that became an Earthling. Gohan is a half-alien godly figure trying to be an Earthling. But both are kinda succeeding in their own way, becoming more accustomed to Earthling life. And thankfully, despite Goku's concerns, Vegeta is starting to be more normal, even with a small family of his own now. As for Gohan, he actually avoids the Saiyaman stuff this time. He does kinda contemplate it, but he doesn't really want to draw more attention to himself. Like, yeah, he can come up with a disguise and such, but he wants to be just normal here. He doesn't want to stick out to everyone. Although there are some points where he can't really contain it, and he fights as the Golden Warrior. This is very short-lived though, especially because it's not too hard to tell that it's him. Well, most civilians in Dragon Ball are stupid for some reason, and like they can't recognize that it's just Gohan with blonde hair, but Videl can't, so Gohan has to stop kinda quick, after accidentally catching her attention. While Goku is training under Shinigami, he obviously goes back to Earth from time to time and is watching it from there. He has that crystal ball to look through to watch over Earth, and he can just teleport between planets pretty easily. He had instant transmission in Kami's version of the Kai Kai, but now he has the real Kai Kai, the one that lets him teleport basically anywhere in the universe unrestricted. Not even limited to just this universe, he could actually just teleport pretty much anywhere he wants. Because now Goku actually does know about the multiverse, and the hierarchy of other gods, as well as the fact that there are other universes like this one. But Goku still has a lot more to learn before he gets to explore the other universes. Although, he is excited and looks forward to it. And he especially looks forward to meeting the god of destruction, Beerus. He's heard about him, and he's asleep right now, but he doesn't know when he's actually going to meet Beerus. Shin kind of advises against it, but Goku's excited. During those times where Goku is on Earth, he realizes now at the lookout it's getting kinda cramped. Like, the lookout is pretty big. But he has his family up there and his friends visit a lot, and Piccolo's up there a lot too. He basically has that as a second home. So he, Popo, and Piccolo actually extend the lookout, building more onto it. It's not as lonely as it once was before, which is very emblematic of how Goku would be. Of course, Kami's gonna be all proper with his rule, and the lookout was pretty restrictive, but Goku's Goku. People naturally gravitate towards him, whether he's a god or not. Plus, Goku is continuously watching over Earth, mainly because now he knows about the threat of Buu. He's been filled in about everything, and he spent a lot of time training to prepare for Buu's arrival. At some point over this time skip, after years of training, Goku actually is able to pull the Z-Sword, and it's thanks to a new power that he's unlocked. Well, kind of a new power. After working some more on Super Saiyan, of course he gained mastery over it, and he still does have Evolved Kaioken, which is continuously growing every day, especially Max Kaioken. He theorized that he can max out Kaioken at about times 1000 now, which is absurd, especially with his self-healing growing even stronger than before too. But he could really only use Max Kaioken in short bursts. If he wants to use Evolved Kaioken casually, it's going to be around times 200, which is still a massive boost obviously. Unlike Evolved Kaioken though, Super Saiyan isn't as draining once he masters it. He could just stay in the form and actually not really feel anything at all. Despite the healing properties of Evolved Kaioken, it does drain energy. Pretty fast in fact. Like mentioned earlier in the series, the big benefit to Evolved Kaioken is the fact that he can max it out even further than before, since it's basically him counteracting the effects of Kaioken destroying his body. So he's not injured by it, but he is worn out by it. He can't just self-heal infinitely. There is a limit to his stamina. But with that entire tangent aside, the thing Goku unlocked was combining Kaioken with Super Saiyan. Since he could use Super Saiyan pretty much effortlessly now, he could throw Evolved Kaioken on top of that, and once he does so, he pulls out the Z-Sword with ease. He probably could have done that with Evolved Kaioken alone, but he kinda got sidetracked trying to combine the two rather than actually focusing on pulling the sword. He didn't realize how strong he'd grown. He probably could have actually pulled the sword a while ago if he tried, but better late than never. And he starts messing around with the Z-Sword and training with that, which eventually leads to the Z-Sword being broken, freeing Elder Kai from it. Which of course leads to him gaining more knowledge from Elder Kai too, but also he finds out about Elder Kai's ritual. Elder Kai is pretty interested to see Goku here on the planet, obviously hearing about how Saiyans are, and knowing that Goku's a regular mortal basically, or at least was at one point. He never would have thought a mortal could have grown to this level. He's actually far stronger than Shin or Kibito at this point, and Elder Kai wonders what would happen if he were able to unlock Goku's potential. How strong could he truly grow? So of course, they end up doing the ritual for him. Surprisingly here in this scenario, Super Saiyan isn't really focused on right now. It's a big thing for Vegeta obviously, with him trying to surpass that somehow. But for Goku it's a little bit of an afterthought, and Gohan, even though he only has Super Saiyan 1, I would say base Gohan is definitely stronger than normal, so it kind of balances out. Even though he has a lower form of Super Saiyan, still, he's absurdly strong. But Vegeta's really the only one focusing on trying to improve it, and that's mainly because he's working with Piccolo. Goku on the other hand got it kinda late, and Evolved Kaioken was already better by then. Especially now, Goku's gonna kinda toss Super Saiyan to the side. Maybe he'll come back to it later, but now he has access to the ultimate form thanks to Elder Kai. This will help him grow far more than he could have ever imagined. With all this preparation too, as you'd probably expect, the Buu saga is not gonna happen, but that doesn't mean that Buu's not gonna be revived. At the end of the time skip, right before the tournament, Goku's been watching over Earth and can see that Babidi's already arrived there. The moment he arrives, Goku teleports in. With pretty much no effort at all, he fights Deborah as well as all the other minions there. And Babidi tries his best to try and stop Goku, but nothing works. And with relative ease, Babidi and all his minions are eliminated. Shin and Kibito go to take Buu's egg. They're surprised that it was done this quickly, and they're obviously glad. But now they need to find a way to get rid of the egg and make sure nothing bad ever happens with it. But Goku tells Shin to wait a moment. He wonders, now that he knows more about magic, he kinda wants to try and awaken Buu himself. What? Is he crazy? Why would he do that? Well, Goku says there's a few reasons. For one, if they awaken Buu, then Goku can just kill him on the spot. He feels like he has more than enough power to do so. They don't know how strong Buu is necessarily, but Goku's pretty confident in this. Not cocky, just confident. He knows he could win here. And that's the worst case scenario, and that would be good if they just completely eliminate Buu. He could probably even have King Yama purify him. But even better, Goku thinks there might be a chance they could change Buu. Maybe there is a way to purify him like King Yama does, but Goku could be the one to do it. He could do this without killing or reincarnating Buu. He could just purify him completely. Of course, it's dangerous to release him, but Goku likes the prospect of having a strong ally like that. And besides, there's not a scenario where they lose here. Best case, they purify Buu and they don't have to worry about him, and now Goku has a strong ally to work with. Worst case, Buu is irredeemable no matter how strong Goku's magic is. So they kill Buu, eliminating him for good and make sure that he never gets revived again. Shin is a bit concerned about this idea, but he trusts Goku's judgment, taking Buu's egg back to the Sacred World of Kai's. Goku's not going to do this right now because first, he has a tournament to join. Even though he's God, he's still going to participate in the tournaments. The tournament comes and goes, and it's peaceful this time. They all have fun there. Surprisingly enough, he even sees Android 18 there, who enters it for the prize. He does keep an eye on her, and it does seem like the androids aren't going to go around killing people this time. Plus, he only sees one of them. He's glad they're doing well at least. But outside of that, there's nothing really to note of in the tournament. And Goku's mainly excited because he knows after the tournament, he might have a brand new ally, someone strong to fight against. On the Sacred World of Kai's, Goku starts spending weeks looking over Buu's egg, trying to come up with some sort of purification technique. With his own power alone, he could actually use that to revive Buu. Shin, Kibito, and Elder Kai are still really concerned about this, thinking this is a terrible idea. But again, they do trust Goku's judgment. He's not doing this for no reason, and if he actually pulls this off, it's going to be proof of how great he is as Kami. and eventually after a lot of time thinking and practicing, Goku figures out the best way to do this. Goku spends time charging a sphere of ki in his hands, and it looks very strange. Clearly no ordinary ki attack. It's a pulsating rainbow sphere of ki, and Goku just crushes it in between his hands, then simply flinging it at the egg. Sparkles of ki fly off the egg, and an evil presence radiates off of it too, evaporating in the air. Goku explains what he just did. The attack that he just made was imbued with magic, and he basically made it so it targets any sort of evil energy and only destroys evil energy. And despite its small size, the attack was powerful. Think of it as evil being bacteria, and this is a disinfectant. Except this one kills 100% of germs. But there's only one way to see if this truly worked. Goku gives a portion of his energy to the egg, and the egg simply cracks open. It's not an explosive awakening. Out of thin air, Buu forms there, and they can't sense an ounce of evil within him. He's purely good. It definitely is Majin Buu, the same one that Shin saw before, but he's not evil. Shin can't believe it at all. He actually did it. He purified the incarnation of evil, basically just to see if he could do it and it could have an ally like that. It's truly a testament to how great Goku is as Kami. But what he just did isn't just protecting Earth, it's protecting the entire universe. Goku's amazing at reforming people. Yes, there are some people like Frieza that are just pure evil. He wonders if something like this would have worked on Frieza, but it probably would have killed him. At least with the Buu, it seemed like there was some good in there because part of him was the Kai's. Which is weird to think about. He was the incarnation of evil, but he was able to survive this. And the Buu we see here is basically the one we see in the series now where he's purely good. Kami might not be good enough for someone like him. Yeah, he's an amazing Kami and all, but how would he like to be an apprentice Kai? Well, Goku's not really too sure. He already basically is an apprentice Kai, but Shin wants him to become an actual Supreme Kai. Unlike Kami, there's a lot more that's involved with this, and it's going to take way more years of training. Like, he'll probably have to be an apprentice for centuries. Plus, he's also basically jumping positions. Like, yeah, Guardian of Earth is a great position, but he's jumping so many other positions to become Supreme Kai. Also, feels like it's not really for him, but he does like the idea of Shin training him. And who knows, maybe he'll be convinced to do so. But he tells Shin there's no promises. He's not really too sure if that's a role that he wants to be in. And Shin completely understands, but the offer is still open. Imagine Goku as a Supreme Kai. He's already doing so great as Kami. And with his raw power alone, he's already stronger than all the other people in the universe. He's the strongest thing around. Well, at least the strongest mortal around. There are still two people above him, Beerus and Whis, with Goku still wondering when he's going to get to meet them. But thankfully for him, it doesn't take too long. Not long after purifying Buu, Beerus actually does wake up, setting his alarm a little bit earlier. He planned this a while ago. He wanted to set his alarm this early because he felt like he would meet someone at this time, and he had a prophecy while he was dreaming too. He was going to meet some sort of new godly rival, someone that he wouldn't have ever expected, and it appears to be some sort of Saiyan maybe. When he asks Whis about this, Whis is able to find a Saiyan pretty quickly. Apparently, the Guardian of Earth is a Saiyan now. And to make things even better, he's basically an apprentice Kai training under Shin. There's no way it can't be him. So, Beerus immediately heads toward the sacred world of Kais, meeting Goku for the first time. He also did have some sort of prophecy about the Super Saiyan God, so he asks Goku, but he knows nothing about it. But he gets to test Goku's power at least, with Goku finally getting to show off Ultimate in a fight, and one where he has to actually go all out. It's been a while since he's actually faced a challenge like this, and this is amazing. It's everything he ever dreamed of. He hasn't had to go all out for an opponent in so long. I always feel like there's never anyone there to challenge him, but here, he holds absolutely nothing back. And Beerus is really impressed with his power. Sure, it's nowhere near the level of his, but still, even without him being a Super Saiyan God, he's still incredibly powerful as is, and Beerus can feel some godly ki within him. He's picked up on trace amounts of godly ki, and not just whatever he'd get from the Kais. Beerus can actually sense a godly presence within him, one above any of the other mortals. It's not fair to call Goku immortal anymore. He's not simply Guardian of Earth, he's a bona fide god. Although his power is not quite where Beerus wants it to be yet. Sure, it's far more impressive than Beerus could have ever expected, but it's not a Super Saiyan god like he expected. But he's glad that he found Goku, and tells Goku to find him soon. He wants Goku to train as much as possible, grow to become the Super Saiyan God. If anyone can find it, it'll be him. Shin, Kibito, and Elder Kai are kinda terrified, especially after watching Beerus fight somewhat seriously. Although he was holding back a lot, but it seemed like he was having a lot of fun. And they're surprised that encounter went so smoothly. Again, it's a testament to how great Goku is. And Goku looks forward to seeing Beerus again. He's not going to go to Beerus' planet, and he's still going to stay here and train. But soon enough, Beerus will return, and Goku will give him a better fight. In the meantime, he's going to train to be a Super Saiyan God, and he has the perfect training partner here with him, Majin Buu. This is where we'll leave off for now. What do you guys think about this part, and what's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you want to see more parts of the series or anything else like it. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.